It's always important to look at history and see why we're celebrating. So the 4th of July celebrates the Declaration of Independence. It's a document that states the basic values of this new nation, the United States. And one of the base lines that kind of set this new frequency, this new pattern that we're still vibrating right now, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Everybody was used to having a king or a queen and being ruled without having any reason for certain decisions. Having a document where it says people's right to pursue happiness, it was just unheard of. So the spirit of this new freedom, this basic human right of freedom, that frequency started to spread. Then you have the French Revolution that happened maybe a decade later. And you had other revolutions around the world where people were seeking this new frequency. But somebody had to go first. Somebody had to set the base frequency. And then what we have, Francis Scott Key wrote the National Anthem for the United States. And the reason why it has power is because it's written in Nod. It's in the same exact frequency with the same tonality of the notes as the 24th Poti of Jap-ji, which Guru Nanak gave us. What the 24th Poti of Jap-ji does, cuts limitations, cuts blocks. It gives you freedom, gives you sovereignty. It changes the neurons of the brain to prosperity, to infinity. It gives you immense power. Think of a negative thought that you have reoccurring all the time. Everyone has one, like I'm not good enough. Whatever script you're running that you try not to run. You're running that because the neurons of your brain are holding a certain pattern, a certain structure. And that structure is vibrating at a certain frequency. That's all it is. You chant, let's say, the Antanasifati, that's a higher frequency, and that then replaces the neuron pattern that you're holding with the higher pattern. That's why people will have their personalities immensely change after practicing Kundalini Yoga, because all of a sudden your neurons are vibrating differently. And they've done studies to prove some of these techniques and teachings. And they've gone in and seen the DNA and then the cells. So the Antanasifati goes in and changes the projection of the neuron patterns. And so the 24th Poti of Jap-ji and the National Anthem of the United States, it's the same notes, same frequency. And that's why whenever you hear the National Anthem, the heart opens up. So the guys signing the Declaration of Independence, they're signing a document for new values, a new frequency, and then laws come in and support it. You can do that for yourself. Like, I'm tired of this behavior I do, or I'm tired that I'm attracting these type of people into my life. I'm now just gonna make a new value that I'm just not gonna accept it anymore. You create your own values, create higher values, and then everything that you do needs to serve that mission. I really do think about that. There's 13 colonies going up against the British Empire. What are the odds that they would succeed? Not high. But they had a conviction, they had a strength where they wanted to win. They wanted a better life. And so that frequency overpowered the other frequency. It's like David and Goliath. Kundalini Yogas were also pioneers of a new frequency. And at times it doesn't seem like the current is with us. But it's not easy to bring a high frequency on the planet. So just always keep that in mind. When you practice, it's really important because you're adding to the collective a higher frequency. And every breath counts, every mantra counts. So even though we practice very casually sometimes, it's actually a really, really big deal. These high frequencies, when they come onto the planet, how they transcend time and space is through story and song. That's how they're passed, through the art. Jesus, he wasn't just like, be nice to people, be good to thy neighbor. He taught people through parables, through stories, and those stories are passed on. Because the human mind can understand stories. And then Guru Nanak, when he's channeling this jap-ji, he can't just start telling people these teachings because it's a Mughal empire. At the time, it's very hostile for beings like that. So he had Mardana with him. They put the teachings in song, and they would travel village to village just singing beautiful music. It was against everything that everyone stood for at the time. But because of the beauty of the heart space, everybody just allowed it to happen. And that's how the frequency started to usher onto the planet. So you always want to turn to art. Art is the medium that passes the energy through, and then you're a work of art in the human body. So whatever you're doing, think of it as an artistic expression of your frequency. That's what we're doing with story and song. With these Kundalini high-frequency teachings, through the mantra, we're passing it down. Documents disappear, but the frequency of the National Anthem or Antonicity, that will reverberate into the future.